Welcome back. You're watching Signature Television. I mean, if you check out the trends right now, everywhere it's all about the U.S. election. Trump is trending, Kamala Harris is trending, U.S. elections 2024 is trending on X, on YouTube, and even on other social media platforms. I really don't know which one you use the most, but trust me, every single person is talking about this particular election. No matter where it goes, it's going to be historic. And so we're going to be talking about it right now. We have with us someone who has been practically following these elections up until this moment. We have with us Dr. Augustine Okoli. He is a former state director, National Orientation Agency in Enugu State. Good to have you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Welcome, viewers and listeners.
So I'm sure you've been following the development, and the numbers are active and positive for Donald Trump. I wanted to find out from you what you think about the results so far.
Well, you see, in America, it's different, entirely different ballgame with what obtains here in Nigeria. In America, they have 50 and 51 states, and each state has their own agency for election, not a unified, like in Nigeria, have INEC.
Yes.
There's nothing like a unified agency conducting an election for different states. So each states are responsible for the conduct and organizing their election. So there are some states that they call swing states. There are some states that are also needed to be won for you to achieve, victory. What is going on is that none of them have actually, been officially announced. But like he said, we are following the trend. Some of the states, there are some states that if you win, there are a number of the numbers that are there. Then if you capture the swing states, the Pennsylvania, some of these other states, they are very important. But like he said, whichever side it goes, the important thing is that America is very important to the world in terms of organizing an election, in terms of democracy. They are the flagship worldwide. So if they don't get it right, then I think everything will flounder. The truth is that we are, some of us in Nigeria here who are monitoring and following and observing, are just being emotional about that. The person we like and the person we don't like. But Americans have their own way. They are all not illiterates. They are not misguided. Even though there's some introduction of, this kind of vote buying, but it's not as, pervasive as they are found here and some other third world countries. But we cannot get it perfect. Cannot get 100%. But I think the purity and the quality of the election and what is going to come out, what we're expecting. I do not want to announce that so-and-so person have won. They will declare the results one after the other. We are still following up to this moment. So the interesting thing is that all aspiring, democracies all over the world, all those who want to get it right could also see. Or people say, who wants to make the gong should look at the tail of the kite. So if you want to get it right, you want to see how it is done, both pre-election activities, election proper, and the post-election activity. Remember, it came to a head yesterday, but it didn't start yesterday. Some people started already voting, the elders, those outside diaspora, and those who are entitled to vote have been voting, and they are counting, they have been uploaded. There's no glitch, there is no, all these issues, there's no bringing materials late, there's no logistics problem, there is no public holiday, there is no banning of people movement. So you see the civic duty. From what we observe, I think we should copyright. We should watch and observe right. If you want to, conduct our own elections and do it the way America does it. There are some areas there are some gray areas, obviously, that I have seen during the campaigns and during the elections. So in the course of our discussion, we will lay bare what we have seen, whether other people have seen it the way we see it from our point of prism. And we'll also see whether what is going on, what will happen to the world. It will certainly affect the world, the the environment, when you say environment, internal and external environment of democracies, of the world order. And you see things are changing. But I think what I've seen is not so bad.
Right. If you build up from the campaigns, for instance, the things that are topmost in our discussion when it's an election is different from what happens in America. But you know, the campaigns in America, you see and hear Kamala Harris say things like abortion. You know, you also talk about borders.
The
You know,
LGBTQ as well.
the LGBTQ issues. You know, you see those things that are up in the minds of Americans, far different from elections when they are conducted in Nigeria. You talk about security, you talk about banditry, you talk about unemployment, you talk about the economy, but it's different out there. But, what for you has created this notion about what Americans really care about in this particular elections?
Well, American people are informed people, and campaigns are all about issues. We campaign on issues. There are a few periods and moments of where they deviate and they even attack personalities. We have seen that, but they are just, you know, flash in the pan. The majority of what happens during the campaigns, what I observe, is that they are dealing with the issues because the Americans are very focused. They know that their lives and their well-being are dependent on the outcome of the election. So Americans, both those, the dramatic personnel, the Democrats and the Trump party, the GOP, what is going on is that they have what we call ideology. So ideology of issues, like you mentioned, issues bordering on personal liberty, personal control of your health, your personal person, and the issue of abortion is promoted by the Democrats. You know, they say, look, women or men or whoever is in charge of his welfare and well-being, or her welfare or her well-being. That is, they can decide and determine what happens to them and what does not happen to them. So that is part of the ideology. Some also are talking about the creation of jobs. They talk about tax system. You know, these are the issues that concern the welfare, the economy, their foreign policy. The border issue have become a very big issue because of influx of illegal migrants. But remember, we need to educate ourselves when we are comparing America and other countries, particularly, for instance, Nigeria. America as a country, as a state, is an immigrant state. It's a country of immigrants. People migrated, very microcosm, very few people there are the aborigines, are the indigenous Americans. Majority, more than 80% of what constitutes America today came from somewhere. They are not originally, indigenous from there. So when you compare people like, if you come to Nigeria, apart from those from the north, where you can see Fulanis migrated from outside and came and, settled with the Hausas and keep on spreading down south with their religion and their beliefs and customs. It's entirely a different ballgame. Like in Africa, most countries are just indigenous aborigines. But in America, Americans are immigrants. So they came with different way of life, different climate, different culture, different traditions. But they have a unifying factor, the law. Their constitution is like what you put in a breast pocket, but it contains a lot. It contains their agreement. The people and the government have an agreement. They call it social contract. What they decide, look, this is what we want. And there are some differences in various states. There is a federal law, there is a federal constitution, but in states, there are some areas where they have a ban on handling of weapons. There are some countries where it is free. Even the use of marijuana and some other drugs, there's a place I say it is unlawful. There are some states they say that it is lawful to use the drugs. So, like the issue of abortion, the people who are promoting it are the Democrats. You talk about jobs. The greatest problem, if you fail there, you fail election, is that you need to create jobs, you need to address the economy. The Democrats have been in power via the outgoing President Joe Biden. But the Vice President Kamala Harris, you see, there are some issues of prejudices about women. the Kamala Harris, who is the presidential candidate for Democrats, is not the first person that has been thrown up. I think the former Secretary of State, also tried and also lost to Trump. So within the trends, what I'm seeing is that there is a kind of a prejudice. There's some kind of, you're a woman, you can't be president of America. Until the final result is declared, until somebody is sworn in, they will now say, okay, you can see that that prejudice stays. Because whether you are good or not, no matter how you are, your quality, whatever you have, we want men. And there's this issue about institutions and American integrity, American national interest, American national security. America know that they covet the level of power, the world power, the world how things are. And the other day we had the BRIC states, and they're expanding. I think they want to create that twosome, alignment and non-alignment. Some countries who say they are non-aligned are now gradually finding a way, either aligned economically or aligned in a kind of armed struggle and the defense pact. Trump believes in by partisanship. Trump believes in not multilateral but bilateral agreements, bilateral relationship. So that is the crux of his personal and his party's policies. They want to discuss with you, agree with you, sign agreements. Trump don't believe in these multilateral agreements, multilateral organizations. So you can see how he pulled America out and stopped funding some of these multilateral organizations, and even the NATO, that is a multilateral organization. See, Trump doesn't really, support such multilateral organizations and agreements. So that is the fear of the core American people. Those legacies might be wiped out if Trump succeeds in becoming the second time the president of America. But the Democrats want to preserve such multilateralism, such global, bonding and global agreements.
Okay, so with Trump currently, as at 9 a.m., we have 52.2% to Trump and 47 for Harris. Now, a lot of people have this belief and opinion that whoever comes out to become the president, there's going to be an impact on Nigeria. What do you have to say about this?
Well, talking about impacts and the effects of who wins is going to be huge as we speak. Like I said earlier, that some people are supporting Trump, some people, Nigerians, some of us, are supporting and wishing that Kamala Harris wins and comes out victorious. When you ask them their reasons, some are emotional, some are even based on facts, based on some people say they want America to reinforce their strength. Some people are being swayed by what is going on in the Middle East. Like in the Middle East, Israel is just like a twin brother to America. And whatever they want to do, America must support them. So far, I don't know what's going to continue to happen. It was even Trump that moved their own, diplomatic mission to Jerusalem during his first term. So that Jerusalem has become a contentious issue if you go through the struggle for the heart of Israel. And remember how Israel came, and some people believe that what the Bible says stays. But some people believe that this land is our land. These people invaded us, overcame us, took possession, and even trying to wipe us out. So some people say that the Bible says that God said that the land of Israel belongs to the people of Israel. So American people are also, like majority of them are Christians. We have Muslims, have other people who don't even believe in God. They are the supremacists and other people who are in America. So what is going to happen to Africa? What is going to happen to the black countries? What is going to happen to third world countries with Trump believing in what can you bring to the table? If you can't bring anything, you can forget about you. Their foreign policy, their internal policy is America first. America first is that America's interest comes first. They consider Americans and what is the Americans' interest first before they talk about whether they are going to help you, whether they are in trouble, whether they are going to bail you out, whether they are going to allow you, whether you are fighting, you are killing yourself. Trump particularly, before I now talk about the party's policies,
All right.
and so on.
We're going to continue this conversation, but we have our diplomatic correspondent online with us, Vin Martins Obiarilo. Good to have you. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Charles.
You have watched the speech by Donald Trump that just ended some few moments ago. What's the import of that speech, and what can you deduce from that? Hello, Vin.
I think we lost her.
Would reconnect with him shortly to give us an overview about it. Maybe you could do that on Zoom, or better still, another moment. You were saying something about the build-up to these particular elections, and I just wanted to find out from you, really, do you think that the election is more or less called on what America basically did with the fights in Ukraine and Russia fights? We also had the issue between Israel, Hamas, and Hezbollah. We know that some persons are discontent with the way and how American government has gone with all of these issues that happened. Trump has run with the fact that, oh, you know what, if he was the president, all these things that are happening wouldn't have happened. Do you really think that, given what we have right now, that the elections may be called in some aspects on the fact that America may have not managed the fights between Ukraine and Russia, and of course that or between Israel, Hezbollah, and the likes?
Well, what is going on globally, like the first question about the impact, how it's going to be felt in Nigeria and African countries and other continents. Like I said, if, for instance, Trump coasts to a victory, most of those foreign policies are going to be changed. Remember, those in charge now are the Democrats. Joe Biden is still the president until he will hand over to whoever that wins. Now, what is going on, like how America was chased out of Afghanistan by the Taliban? Americans never liked that. Americans were not happy about the way they left Afghanistan. Now, what is going on in Ukraine? Trump was saying during his campaign, I don't know whether it is speculation, whether it could have happened or not, that if he was the president, then that even Russia wouldn't have invaded Ukraine.
Yes, Ukraine.
He said that. Then, in what's going on in the Middle East, he was saying that if you allow this war to continue to drag on, that we might enter the Third World War, where China, Russia will now support some of the Arab countries to now attack Israel, and then America will now come in to now degenerate into a world war. And the fear of world war is the beginning of wisdom, because it's not going to be fought with conventional weapons. The fear is that if you go to world war, then the Armageddon will happen. People will now begin to resort to the nukes, the nuclear armament. And when you feel that, oh, we are going to be demolished, then you now resort to using nuclear weapons, which we know that it will just finish the entire world, because it has no boundary in effect. So let me respond to your question most appropriately, because what we expect is that, forget about the campaigns, because Trump had the opportunity in the first time. He didn't deliver how we thought he was going to deliver. He didn't do whatever people were thinking Trump is going to change the whole thing. Then Muhammadu Buhari was the president. Most Nigerians were thinking, oh, if you come to cut the excesses of Muhammadu Buhari, who, all we got was, oh, you are killing Christians, stop killing Christians. And the president said, I was not killing Christians. So that was all that. So American interests supersedes and become paramount in their policy. Remember, the foreign policy of countries, actual proper foreign policy, is an offshoot of your domestic policy, the welfare of your people. That is why Trump is carrying most Americans along. He said, America first. He will make America strong again, whether we like it or not. That is the language Americans want to hear. Americans are kind of selfish people. They want America first. But the other Democrats, the other people who have grown beyond Americanism, are talking about the world as a global village. They're talking about climate, change, effect of climate. Trump doesn't even believe there's anything like climate change. During the COVID, people are talking about how to protect the weak and other countries. Trump was, don't believe that. He said use whatever and inject people, it will go. That doesn't like COVID until he got infected. So the truth is that whatever is their belief, we can say that America is not that kind of heaven and paradise we thought America is. The entire global village has been exposed, and people we have seen, the wind has blown, and you can see that, America is not that place that is paved with gold and diamond, and that is, if you just get to America, that is El Dorado. We have come to that fact, Nigerians and people who are watching and observing. But the truth is that American interests still, their development, the level of their advancement is just light years away because of the institutions they have, particularly the law. Because I used to say that you have more criminals in America, you have more bad people in America and other Western countries. But the difference is that the severity of the application of their law. The severity of the application of the law, takes precedence. So the law is above all persons. You can see that Trump was even impeached. He was tried. He's still under trial. But Trump is like a cat with 9 lives. Very few people will survive where Trump survived. Because from the cacophony, the whole gamut of trials brought against Trump, nobody will know that Trump will have become a candidate, come to the point of contesting an election. In other places, that is be a wishful thinking, because maybe some smaller people who have gone to jail, some people have even been killed. His life was attempted 3 consecutive times during the campaigns, but he's still standing tall. Some people say it's God's hand. They need a savior. Trump is the savior. So you see, there are a lot of sentiments. Right. But the truth is that Americans are selfish about it. They want America first. Right. Americans want their issues treated first, their welfare, their labor. They don't want people to come and struggle with jobs. That's what Trump is saying, that they have open borders, that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden open borders from the southern part, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, people invading America, eating their pets. And if you see what he's saying, he said that, causing a lot of confusion, that he will stop that. He will build a border and they will pay for it. We are yet to see that.
Listen, we're going to come back to you. We have our diplomatic correspondent who is live right now on the phone. Good to have you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Vin Martins. The development so far, I don't know, you have finished watching Trump's speech. I wonder if that is legal to have a speech in the middle of an election, but I'm just wondering, what do you make of that particular speech? Was it a victory speech, or was it
a campaign?
Was it a campaign still?
Well, it was a victory speech. He has used that speech to claim victory. He has said that he was the 45th president, and he will be the 47th president of the United States of America. And he used that speech to thank his supporters across board. He used that speech to thank the MAGA movement. He used that speech to say again that his movement is nothing, is something that has never been seen in American history, and that they were all making history together. It was also a speech to say, yes, after all you did, here I am victorious. And like I said, I'm going to make America great again. I'm going to make the economy great again. I'm going to close the borders. I'm going to make America stronger, make America secure. And he also said he was going to make sure there were no wars anywhere in the world. So it was a victory speech, a kind of chest pumping to say, yes, I have done it, and only me could have done it.
But the elections are not done. The winners have not been announced yet, even though the numbers are still, trickling in. Is it even legal to have that kind of speech at this time?
Well, I can tell you that the election is over. Yes, the election has not been officially announced, that everything shows that Trump is going to be the next president of the United States of America. As we speak, what you need to be president of America is 270 electoral votes. Trump has 266.
67 now.
And he's just 4 electoral votes short of being officially,
as at the last check, it's
There's a
actually
267 now.
267.
to securing the 270 votes. So the remaining results, you can look at them and see that this might turn out to be a landslide, because Trump might be getting up to 300 to 350 electoral votes at the last count. So you can say right away that everyone knows who has won the election. What we're expecting any moment from now is for the vice president to call Trump and congratulate him. There's no other way to it. There's no other pathway to winning this election by Kamala Harris. Forgive me, it's concluded, it's sealed. So whether the elections are declared or not, America has a new president. That's what I can tell you.
Wow. All right. So Donald Trump, everybody knows him because he has been president before. How historic is this particular, is this victory for Americans or even for people around the world?
It's historic in every sense of the word. It's historic in every letter of the word. Look, I think that it has gotten to a point where the Trump phenomenon has to be studied. Hate him or like him, this man has done what no one has ever done. And this man, against all odds, against all the hatred, against all the hostility, against all the support, against whatever you want to talk about, he has won again. When he won in 2016, everyone thought it was a fluke. When he lost in 2020, everyone knew he lost, but he kept saying he was cheated out of it. And he has come back in 2024 to say, look, I'm getting back what I believe belongs to me. How does he do it? How does a man do everything wrong and he's still loved by his people? How does a man say all the wrong things and he's still loved by his people? How does a man, talk down, insult, denigrate everyone, and the people still love him? I think that the Trump phenomenon needs to be studied. Political scholars and electoral scholars and election experts need to study the Trump phenomenon. That's what I think, because this is a phenomenon. I mean, it's unbelievable. For people across the world, for a lot of people, this could not happen, but it has happened. So I think it was time we started paying attention to this man and start to study what is making this possible. I mean, he has broken every law in America. He's twice impeached as president of America. He's severally indicted criminally in the United States. But he has this group of people, this group of supporters. Even if you bring him out and tie him a rope in 2 legs and 2 hands, they will still vote for him, they will still support him. How is that possible? I think that besides saying that this is historic, I'm saying that it was time the entire world, people in America, everywhere, will study what is making this possible for Trump.
But Vin Martin, do you really think that this is a reflection of the people? Like, of course, we know how Trump can be. We've seen his speech. We've heard him talk. Do you think this is a reflection of the American people who still support him? Because as at this point, he has 267 votes and about 69 million votes already. Do you think this is a reflection of the people of America?
won this election, believe it or not, that is the wish of the people. That's the opinion of the people. That is the people giving him the mandate. Well, I guess what you're saying is, does it mean that the Americans believe in what he says, that what he says is what Americans feel? Let me take you back and say that the American election is determined by a number of factors. One major factor is how you can sell what you want to do for the American people, how you can convince them, how you can, bamboozle them with whatever arguments that you have. That is one factor in American politics. The second one is they want to know what you have done before. Who were you? What have you done? How did you vote? What kind of things did you say? But when it comes to Trump, all those words have not mattered. What has mattered is how he sells his objectives, how he sells his policy, and somehow it looks like he's saying what the Americans want to hear. A good number of Americans think that their country has been invaded by what they call them now?
Illegal immigrants, illegal migrants.
That's what they think. And a good number of Americans think that they are paying too much bills for the rest of the world. And a lot of Americans are thinking that America is letting countries like China and the other countries take advantage of America. These are things that Trump is saying. If the people of America do not agree with him, they will not give him a second mandate. They will not vote for him. They will not make this victory so easy, easier than anyone thought. So I believe it might not be what the American people are, but I think he's saying and connecting and being relatable with what Americans feel and what they are going to do. And that's why they are supporting him. And again, like I said, we need to really, really look at Trump, his politics, his personality, as political scientists, as international affairs experts. I think it's diplomatic people around. It's time to study what is making this man able to pull this through in a very enlightened society like the United States of America.
Yeah, I'm sure in due course we're going to continue engaging with these issues because they are quite interesting points that you have actually made. We're talking about Trump and what his personality has brought to the elections, given that he has no experience in politics when he took over office in 2016. He coming from entertainment and took the world by storm in 2016. So I'm sure we're going to continue engaging this particular situation. But we want to say a very big thank you for your insight. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, back to the studio. I mean, interesting question that has been asked. What exactly is making Trump win? He was rejected in 2020, won in 2016, and is back again in 2024. What exactly is going on with this person called Donald Trump?
Well, I think that is a very interesting question. I would have liked to disagree substantially with Mr. V. Martin Ilo, that diplomatic correspondent. Yes. I want to disagree with him if you ask me, and I think you did, whether it is Trump that is to be studied or the American people that is to be studied. I think it is the people of America that we need to study and know whether it is what we think that they really are. Because Martins was saying that that is not what Americans are. I think that is truly the true reflection of selfish, greedy, and recluse American, that people are thinking differently and being politically correct, giving America a global worldview of, Mr. Do-Good, and so on. America wants to hear America first. America first. See, this globalization idea is brought to us by the West. Talking about climate, talking about foreign policies, talking about supremacy and world power, how the powers are shared, even at the United Nations, if as a global world number one. That is what Americans want. Americans don't want a weak president. Americans don't want a president that will come and mess up. Remember, I think in 1992, the George Bush Sr. lost the second term because he went to Japan and threw up in a party. That's that. They don't want to see a president that will be, falling up and down like Biden. Americans don't want weak person. They don't want somebody that is suspect. They want strong man. And that's what Trump has been hammering. Trump has been saying, look, I like strong people. There was a point he was even comparing Adolf Hitler and his generals. That is what he said. He said, I don't want weak generals. I want strong generals. So that is truly what Americans are. Forget about all this pretending, all these pretenses about America being quality, this democracy, and America being number one. No, I said earlier that this is a true reflection of America. Greedy, selfish, self-opinionated, and that is what Trump is singing. Trump, first of all, tried to understand what Americans want. And they want self first, America first. So, and he's singing it, and in fact, like a lullaby. I think other people, the Democrats, who are trying to say liberty for all, choice for people, democracy, and the niceties, that is not what American people want. So I think we should study America and not to study Trump. Because studying Trump, we have already known who Donald Trump is.
Sorry, before you go, just to collaborate your point, I think I remember the time where his supporters stormed the Capitol.
It's not supporters, it is the Americans. Americans, we are fighting and killing policemen to get at the Speaker of House of Representatives, who is supposed to confirm that election. They don't want that election to be confirmed. And Trump sent them to go and catch the woman and deal with the woman. He said, I'm going to deal with her. And he was even tried for that. The only thing is that they said, as the president, anything he did as the president has immunity. That was the only gateway. So, but as for Trump calling for people's head, for that, Trump asked people, Americans, go and get that mandate. It belongs to me. I won. And it has never happened ever before. That is what we see in Nigeria. That's what we see in some other third world countries. Because somebody will be claiming victory when the institution is saying a different thing. He was even trying to rig the election. He was calling governors of states to ask them to do something to change the results. So you can see, we Nigerians, the world over, my personal self, I don't need to go and study Trump. I've already known Trump. I can predict Trump. What I couldn't predict is Americans. Because this institution is there. How to vote is there. It's their choice. That is their own Emilokon. They want, this is the person they want. It is his turn. And nobody can deny him that turn. I'm telling you, so the person to study, as the results are just trickling. I don't want to just preempt them, say he's going to win. I knew to the extent that, it is like Martin concluded that, as far as I'm concerned, as far as he's concerned, the election is over. The election is truly over, but we don't do that because it's against the law for another person to announce on air to the people that this person has won when the person has not been officially declared. So the truth is that American phenomenon, American, the world should look at America, whether America is what we think America is. Now, Trump said that he's going to build a wall at the Mexican border, and the Mexicans will pay for it. He was even surprised that, that there's a country they had boundary with, that Obama, renewed the diplomatic relations. Trump caused it when he came in, just, returned America where America is. So, and the Americans are happy. So, if you leave Americans, they can go to war because of Trump. So, and if what Trump, represents is what they want, so be it. So that is America for you. So I'm not studying Trump. I'm gonna try to study America because maybe what the political correctness, what they have, been covered, what they have veiled, and call it America. We need to know what is inside that, what we call America. So people who are in America will tell you how racist Americans are. They are racist. You see them kill black people. See them kill policemen who are black people. See them forget about whatever good you did as long as you are a person of color. And I want to tell you that, look, almost all of them came like the black people. They are a country of immigrants. So, but they believe in a white supremacist. So that is what Trump represents. So America wants to take their country back. That is what the slogan. Take America back. Welcome America. And all those political niceties, all those global, pictures that they are painting, that is not what America represents. And America have shown it. If what they want is Trump and what Trump represents, so be it. And you can see that even when Trump came in the first, he welcomed Putin. He praises Putin. He excuses for Putin. Whatever the American accused Putin, he said, no, Putin can't do that. So you can see America is at crossroads. The people who believe in deceiving the world and pretending that America is El Dorado. America is not El Dorado. America is El Dorado because of institutions. They believe in institutions, and institution even can control Trump. That is what will make America different from other countries. The institution is so strong that even the strong Trump cannot overcome if he didn't change the institutions. But if the institutions are there, you can see Americans, Trump's employees, appointees coming up to testify again. Nobody has ever had that type of experience. He's minister, secretary of state. He's secretary of defense. People coming out to make testimony. The women he dealt with. Trump doesn't mind. He's into entertainment, into a pageant and so on. He doesn't mind touching you and doing anything to you and coming out to deny. So that is Trump, and I think that's what America represents.
Yeah, so earlier when you were explaining something, you spoke about gray areas in the American system, and you said we were going to talk about it later. I would like to get your...
Well, that is what we are saying,
yes.
That gray areas is where what we think America is. The dark side. Like, there's a time we had, the COVID. It also exposed America. They were predicting that those who are going to be falling in the streets are the black people, are the Nigerians, are the African people, are the third world people. But you can see America died in millions. And it was during Trump's time. And America did not accuse him of anything. They were not, upset about what happened during the COVID. Then America, the way they want to dominate, they want to be selfish. They want to approximate everything, the world, and appropriate the world and become number one. That is what America wants. America first. So, you see, we talk about, people give impression that America is, in fact, if you get to America, go to America and die. But it's not true. It is not true. So, like human beings, human nature, it is curbed and controlled by circumstances, by law. So, the difference in America is that the law is severe. The application of the law is very important. That is what Nigeria needs. If we have to copy anything from America, we don't copy all these rhetorics. What we should copy from America is to make sure that the law stands above everybody, so that impunity will go, so that corruption will go. If you commit any corruption, the law will be severe, and it is the people that apply the laws. So if the people become corrupt, then the law will also be corrupt. And you see, America, I will even try to do more things, like I said that, we are going to study, we are going to look into what America truly is, not the one that is presented to us. You see what United Kingdom truly is. When they pulled out from Europe, when they now became more selfish and talking about their pounds, they don't want to talk about euro. They want to talk about all these multilateral institutions. They want, if I want to deal with you, I will deal with you bilateral agreement, bilateral discussions, bilateral interests, not where we just, put people together and give them. And that is where American expenses is, at NATO, helping people, going to spend for people, making budgets. So that is the one that they want to try to use to deceive the world. That is what American cares. America cares for only their country, for only their citizens. You saw the other day when one American was kidnapped in Niger and brought to Nigerian border. America have to fly several continents to come and rescue that. That is what America wants. That's what America wants. But you see, like in Nigeria, unfortunately, we are yet to see a foreign policy that is derived from our domestic policy. A domestic policy of welfare, domestic policy of protection of their, that is where we generate, patriotism. Patriotism is not given. Patriotism is a product of, when you care for me, I will care for the country. If you care for citizens, they will care. So if you are not working in America, you are in deep shit. That is why employment is number one. If you generate employment, even though the Democrats are doing that, but little other things, that's the sentiments of America. You see, I even was, miffed when they dropped Biden. when they hushed Biden, said they want another person. Biden could have done better. Even if Trump was going to beat him, he would not beat him as silly as he's going to beat this woman. Yes, the woman is a woman, and you can see America give impression that we have equal rights. In America, they don't have equal. We knew when women started voting in America. I think 1963, just the other day. Women were not voting in America. Americans are racist. They are supremacists. They believe in equality. But the impression given to people is that America believes in civil liberty. America believes in whatever. So, but it is not true. The truth is that America have just unveiled what they are through Donald Trump. If you look at Donald Trump, that is what America looks like. That is how America can be perceived. If you do the contrary thing, then you are doing that at your own peril. As far as I'm concerned, I have concluded, even before I studied them, that America, what they want is Donald Trump. And who behaves and who talks like Donald Trump. Donald Trump looks down on everybody. He talks down on everybody. There's one certain General Senator McCain. Americans revere him, but he put him down and said that, look, you are kidnapped. You are kidnapped. He said, how can you tell us that you are kidnapped? In a war general, a veteran. He said, you are kidnapped, you are weak. So even when he died, the man said he will never, the man campaigned against Trump when he was still alive until he died. Even when the man, McCain, died, Trump still said things lowly of the man. He said, yeah, low man, you are kidnapped. You see, so you don't want failure. That is America for you. But the truth is that America has some good points. That is what the area Nigerians and Africans and third world countries should copy. That their laws, their institutions should be stronger than men. No matter how strong Trump is going to be. If America is going to be together and one, what is going to guarantee that is the institutions. Stronger institutions, stronger application of laws. Stronger laws that addresses the issues and talking about issues. But I think in Nigeria, that is not the case.
All right, Dr. Augustine Okoli, many thanks. We really, truly appreciate you. I think we're going to call you back again to now analyze the outcome.
Yes, it will be interesting to see what the Americans' response. Yes, because after the election, we'll see the percentage. When you say demography is the numbers.
Yes.
But the segments how society, which number is. You will see Americans will, as if to say, that this is a rebirth. They will celebrate as if something was holding them. Absolutely. So after their response, then we will now respond.
All right.
That will be interesting.
We'll invite you afterwards.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. We truly appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
All right, we're headed for a short break. We'll be right back after this. Do stay with us.